Guys, we're talking about the canter today and setting up your canter. The most important thing about getting a canter in an arena, oval or round arena, is that you have to have correct leads. The lead is going to be the leg that is going to be leading into the next progression of steps as you're going around a certain turn, whether it be clockwise or counterclockwise. So let's take, for instance, if I were to take off in this arena now on a left-hand circle, counterclockwise around it, I would want to be in a left lead. So a canter is a 3-beat gait, and this is going to be your lead on a left-hand circle, this front left leg. You're gonna notice whenever I take this circle here, it's going to be the last leg that's reaching out there and leading into that next progression of steps. It's going to reach out there further than the rest of them. If I'm on the proper lead for a left-hand turn, it will be the left leg. If you're doing a right-hand turn, it's going to be the right leg, all right? The reason we want this, one of the reasons we want it, is because as we're turning around that circle, let's just say we're going left-hand circle, as we're turning it, we want that left leg to be reaching into that circle and pulling that horse into the circle with balance. If she's on the wrong lead, stretching out with that right leg, it's going to have to be reaching across and trying to pull across the front of the inside leg. Not only can the horse stumble when they're doing this, but the bigger factor is that they're going to be terribly imbalanced and inefficient at turning their circles at the canter. So the way that I ask for the lead is through a hind quarter disengagement. We go back to those leg yields again. All right, so if I'm wanting a left lead, I'm actually going to turn her this way. I'm going to put in my right heel in the back, right in the center of the barrel, shift that hip over, push her into the canter, and she should pick up a left lead, because that's going to be the first leg that's going to reach out in that direction. I'm encouraging her to reach out with that nearest, closest leg to the circle we're going in, okay? So here's what it's going to look like. I'm going to just go ahead and move her hip over here, and now I'm going to bring her up, and you guys can just kind of watch from here on out on what it looks like. Pay close attention to the hind quarter disengagement, and then really focus on looking at that front left leg. If she picks up the proper lead, which will be the left lead, you'll see it stretching out the most. Now guys, whenever we're looking at how to sit the canter, I get this question a lot. We go through this a lot in our lessons when we're coaching our students. How do you sit the canter to keep your body from coming up out of the saddle and slapping the back of the saddle and kind of getting bounced out over and over? There are two methods in this, and I do prefer one over the other, but there are several ways that you can accomplish this. One is to always remember just to keep your pockets in contact with the cantle, with the seat here in the cantle. Don't get up here on the front of the saddle, all right? Keep your pockets in contact. Sit kind of deep in that pocket, and that will keep you kind of moving with the motion of the horse as she goes through a rotation of her movements. The next thing that's really important is make sure not to stiffen your legs up. If you've got a lot of pressure on your quads when you're cantering, you're probably stiffening your legs too much. They should really stay relatively loose, and if you work at it and have a lot of trouble with this, with kind of just getting slapped on the seat, and you feel comfortable, have a small space that you feel comfortable riding a canter in, go ahead and just take your feet out of the stirrups. That's going to take that ability of tightening those legs out of the equation. So if you're a good enough rider and you have a safe enough space, you can always do that, and it'll kind of help you out a little bit. It'll help you to focus on working on other things, all right? So there are two ways of doing this. A lot of beginners will sit kind of deep like this in the canter. You see this a lot in the English world too. And I don't really care for it too much. I feel like I get, kind of behind the momentum of the canter. I like to kind of sit up into it and move into it. I don't lean way up, but I like to sit up here where I can manage myself and manage my horse and see what's going on and really feel the canter. but I don't fault either way. But I'm going to demonstrate what each one of them look like, and I'll let you just be the judge of which one you think looks a little more proper, a little better as far as balance goes. So I'm going to go ahead and pick her up, and I'm just going to go in a little canter here around us. And it's going to be pretty quick. I might just step out just a little further. Now I'm looking for a left lead canter when I come around here, especially with a tighter circle like this. I would like to have a left lead canter. All right, here we go. All right, did I get a left lead? I want you to look at the legs, and I'm gonna let this lay a little bit. Is that a left lead? No, that's not a left lead. Boy, I can tell the difference when I'm doing it too. I am just getting thrown out there to the outside. So, now did I pick up a left lead? Boy, it sure feels a little better here. And you can see that that left leg is stretching out. Now I'm gonna go into demonstrating the difference in the way people look. Here's the way a lot of beginners look. They'll kind of get back here and ride kind of like this. Well, it keeps the seat down. But the problem is, if you train your horse to sit deep in the pocket and stop, they're probably going to want to stop. I like to sit up here, get up there on your crotch a little bit more, where you can ride that canter and let that hip move with the horse as you're riding, okay? When it comes time to stop, sit deep, and your horse comes down, all right? So those are the ways to canter. I do prefer the upper seat. That way you reserve your stopping power when you sit back in your saddle.